Welcome to the Mittelrhein, beautiful wine region, the smallest wine region in Germany by now, right?
Yes, that's right.
And I would like to say, Thomas, I'm standing here with Thomas from Philipps-Mühle, 2025 and 2026 exhibitor at the Cool Climate Wine Summit. I would like to say, if I look behind me, I can a little bit understand why nobody wants to work here anymore and why the area is a little bit in decline, because it's steep. It's insane. And you are working this every day, right?
Yes, yes.
So very happy to be here and see that. And I mean, I think this is the first opener. I mean, you see, we are here like in, end of May, and it's beautiful summer weather. I mean, I even came in my summer shorts. Yeah, you look a little bit more like a proper winemaker. I'm looking like the tourist here, but I can definitely just invite people coming here, having this beautiful panorama over the Rhine River. I mean, the essence of German winemaking, and enjoying the Mittelrhein region. You couldn't agree more, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's a typical place here. Steep slope vineyard, the river, a castle, the Rheinfels castle,
Yeah.
and
I mean, working here, I mean, it definitely like gives you a kind of compensation for the really tough work to have these very lovely views and this panoramic scene. I really like it. But Thomas, before we dive into the Mittelrhein and the Philipps-Mühle and your wine style, we have these open questions that I ask every winemaker in the beginning, to give you a little bit more like a personal connotation, so people get to know you a little bit better. And the first question I have for you is, if you would not be a winemaker today, what would be your alternative?
Before I start with winemaking, I do an apprenticeship as hotel management.
Okay.
But during I do this, I start to help in the vineyards and working with my hands, working in nature.
You very quickly just had the feeling, I don't want to sit in a hotel inside, locked away. I want to be out here.
It's not my business to sit on an office table the whole day. I would work outside and if I not be a winemaker, I don't know. I'm a farmer or something else.
Maybe you would be a wine grower, or it's I can totally understand. And I mean, it's always like when you come to wine regions, my feeling is always like, the weather is always nice, so people drink wine. And they're not in the hectic of a city or something like this. So it really feels like people are also like a little bit happier in general and more easygoing. That's at least my impression when I come to the wine regions. Second question. You are a winemaker. You are at Philipps-Mühle. Lovely 6.8 hectares at the moment estate here in Mittelrhein. In your process of becoming a winemaker, who is somebody who truly inspired you and your philosophy in making wine?
No one special. I think during I do the apprenticeship in hotel management, I have a lot of contact to steep slope winemakers.
Okay.
Okay, it's a hard business. Yeah, it's steep. But later, what you have in the class, that's the best. It's
unique.
It's unique.
And I really, when we came up here and I told you, I'm always like really having this massive form of respect that you do that, because I say, like, we in the industry, we have to be very thankful that you take the effort of getting this crazy terroir into something very special in the glass. So thank you for that. Third question. If you should describe yourself and your character as a bottle of wine, what wine would you pick?
A little bit of a fresh Riesling.
Yeah.
Because we start, my brother and I, we start new with making wine, but now we go also in the future. We lose the correct line, so we start with a fresh Riesling, and now we are more a winemaker which look in the future like a PIWI wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would like to be rather rooted in the tradition where you're coming from, fresh Riesling style.
Yeah. It's name of the winery Philipps-Mühle, Philipps-Mill. And you find here the tradition of the old mill in the winery, but the modernist of the new winery. So you find both.
Wonderful. Yeah. And that's maybe a good bridge to the fourth question for the introduction round, because you are also like member of Ecovin, and we talked before a lot about your efforts, and we talk about later on in more detail about your approach to PIWI and how you work in the vineyard. But maybe just to introduce it in general, if I say nature and its relation to making wine and working the vineyards, what comes to your mind as your association?
Yeah, nature is all. Nature is all what you see here, of course. But what we are we the wine growers, what we do with the nature. We work here in the steep slope. We must look that we have that we work very good with the ground. We have here in every second row we have grasses and flowers and good biodiversity and
you work a lot with humus too, you said beforehand?
Humus, to build humus is what we want to do, because the summer gets drier, and with the humus we can hold the water. It's like a sponge. And we look more and more to the ground. When we have a ground which work very good, then the rain is more is stronger against the plant diseases. It's all a composition of all the small parts.
Beautiful. Then, with that being said, maybe give us a kind of brief introduction to Philipps-Mühle, the winery, and where you're coming from, historically, who you are, what is your style of wine, a little bit of background on that.
Philipps-Mühle, Philipps-Mill. My parents and the generations before, they were not a winemaker. They have the flour mill, and they produce rye and wheat flour for the small bakeries here in the area. But here in Germany, and I think all over Europe, the small family business bakeries more and more give up the business. 25, 30 years ago, my father told to my brother and to me, when he's old enough, he stopped the business with the mill. This was in 2015, and we stopped the business with the mill after 751 years.
751 years.
Yes.
I mean, the mill is from 1263 or 1 was it?
It was 64.
64, okay.
Yeah. And Martin and I, we are the first generation which work as a main job in another business. Making wine was by my parents and the generations before just hobby.
Okay.
They have just 3,000 square meters. Just for the small wine restaurant. And what was not enough, they buy wines from other wineries here from the region. And beginning of the 2000s, my family was the last family here in the town which produced wine. And then we start in 2005 to recultivate given up vineyards, which were given up the last 20, 30, 40 years. And then it's growing. We start with the 3,000 square meters. Now we have 6.8 hectares, and in at the beginning, we plant more Riesling and grape varieties like Müller-Thurgau, Pinots, and with the beginning of the changing process to get an organic winery, and we start the changing in 21, and this last year 24 we have the first organic wines. We start that all what we plant new in the last 3 years, and also in the future we plant just the PIWI grapes.
Only PIWIs?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is an interesting development for the middle wine in general, because PIWIs are not so popular here among the colleagues at the moment, or how is the development going?
I think by the organic colleagues it comes more and more.
Okay.
But by the rest, they're looking, then you can try it, and when the wine tastes good, then we can think about, and PIWIs, what is the PIWIs? The grape varieties have new special names, so everyone knows Riesling or Pinots, and yeah.
So you are the pioneers, so to say.
We are one of the pioneers, and I think, okay, we have here steep slope, we have more work, and with the PIWI grapes, we don't need so much for plant protection, and some summer work which PIWIs don't need, so it's easier.
Yeah.
And we have also in the winery we have a lot of young people which come to the winery and do wine tastings, and they have not the traditional background. They like to taste new grape varieties, and so.
They're very open-minded, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not used to, oh, I need my Chardonnay or I need my Spätburgunder, and they're more like. And then, of course, if as you told me before, when you tell them the sustainability story, naturally, young people are very excited about that, right?
Yes.
So it's maybe also like when we talk about, oh, it's difficult to market PIWIs in the market. I think I often tell winemakers exactly what you say. Go on the sustainability story, because this is what people want to hear, right? Yeah. Less intervention in the vineyard, less complication, less in traditional winemaking, pesticides and fungicides. You, of course, are not using those because you are Ecovin certified. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Shall we taste the wine? Wonderful. So we have 2024 Riesling.
Yeah.
Show it like quickly here.
It's the first organic wine which we have in the winery.
Okay.
It's it's an easy drinking Riesling, just 11% of alcohol. It's I think this is a typical cool climate Riesling. Easy to drink for the whole day.
I mean, if I look at the color, it's kind of really fascinating, right? Because I mean, you really see that it's light and delicate, and you expect some crisp wine immediately and something lightly alcoholic, right?
Yes.
Compared to you have something that has like a deep color or like more yellowish hints and so on and so forth. And then you have it in the nose. Wow, this is fresh. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it suits totally like standing here in like 24 degrees in the vineyard and like just having a good time. Beautiful, just lots of apples, a lot of pear, really nice citrus aromatics, and actually very fresh lemon. Wow, wow, that is some striking, refreshing acidity. Do you have an do you know what acidity level this came within the bottle?
It's around 8.5.
8.5, okay.
And also the sugar level is also the same. It's also 8.5. Because we want, by this kind of wine, we want a good balance. it's a wine like a summer wine which you drink outside on the terrace, and you don't drink just one, you drink 2 or 3 glasses, and then the acidity level must be in a good level. Because we hear it by the wine tastings sometimes, that people tell us, yeah, acidity, I don't know, Riesling, okay. And then they try the wines, and when they come on the next day, they, oh, your Riesling, beautiful, we can drink it, the whole bottle, and we have no problems with the acidity, and yeah.
I mean, that's great to hear, because in general, I think I had a lot of discussions with German winemakers that people are going for less and less acidity often in their wine style, right? And there I see, for example, like a big chance for PIWIs, because many of the PIWIs, like Calates Blanc, like Cabernet Blanc, they are Sauvignon Gris, they are more on this like medium plus side of acidity that we know from Chardonnay. But I mean, I'm organizing the Cool Climate Wine Summit for a reason, and that it's because I like acidic wines, right? Among other. And I think it's kind of, it would be kind of sad if we, like in a region like the Mittelrhein, which is a very classic German steep slope, cool climate wine region, produces these really nice, refreshing acidic wines, would lose that signature, in my opinion. So maybe here, like, connected a question about global warming and climate change, because this is something I heard from many German winemaking regions, that this is exactly like a consequence of global warming, that the wine style is getting more and more untypical for the reason.
Yes,
In the
yes.
Mosel, they have bigger problems in some regions to get the sweetness and acidity balance right. In the Ahr, the Pinot Noir is getting heavier and heavier in style.
Yeah.
So how do you see that for the clean, crisp mineral Riesling style of the Mittelrhein? Is that a problem?
Yes. Look here, we are, this is, years ago, you can say this vineyard is 100% direction south, so best for Riesling. But we don't plant here Riesling. We plant here another grape variety, which works better with warmer climate. We plant here red Riesling.
Red Riesling, yeah.
Red Riesling.
Roter Riesling, yeah. Okay,
Roter
exactly.
Riesling, yeah. And the normal Riesling, which we have last time in 2020, we planted the last vineyard with Riesling. And it's here in the side valley, but around 2 kilometers away from the river.
Yeah.
It's cooler climate. And on a place like this, we become Rieslings, which are less in alcohol, in a good acidity level. Yeah. So we must change the minds. Not the best vineyards are not which are years ago just for Rieslings. We must change the minds that we must plant new grape varieties
On the best sides.
on the best sides. PIWIs in future. In the last 3 years, we start to plant PIWIs. Also in vineyard sites, which were before good Rieslings, but no, we changed the mind.
I find this very fascinating and very interesting modern approach, where I think like the young winemakers generation, I mean, you are also like a member of Generation Riesling, right? So you belong to those like generation of younger German winemakers who look for often sustainable alternatives and try to work with the ecosystem and the changing ecosystem that we have to live with in the best possible way. I also heard this from the Ahr, for example, from a winemaker there who planted some PIWIs in a top Pinot Noir site, and everybody was like, "Are you crazy? Why are you doing that?" But it shows that it is probably one of the coping strategies that we have for global warming and climate change, right? Aside of that, it's getting warmer, and of course, like in a terroir like here, you have a lot of slate in the ground. You have the Wine River, which is really a good source of sunlight reflection. How we really can feel it here. I mean, it's really hot and cooking up here. But what kind of effects do you see otherwise when it, for example, I mean, frost was a big problem in 24,
Yeah.
right? And unusual forms of frost, I assume, like vineyards that were, is it the same as in the Mosel, where some vineyards that have never been affected before by frost
Yes.
have been affected?
Yes. In typical frost vineyards, we have no frost last year.
Okay.
But in vineyards, which we have on normal times, no frost.
Yeah.
So more on top of the hill, we have the biggest frost problems last year. So it changed.
And you have a lot of drought in summer. That is also like very typical
Yes,
now.
yes,
And
yes.
then you have heavy rainfall events, I assume,
Yes,
right?
yes. And we have not so much problems with dry summer or strong rains. We work a lot with the grasses and herbs on the ground. The small roots hold the ground, and we build humus. Humus has a function like a sponge. Rain is falling after weeks after drying, after a dry time. Then the water will hold, and by slow way it goes back to the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of ideas, and I think Ecovin as as an association for organic and sustainable wine growers here in Germany. I mean, it's a fairly large association with I think 130 members by now, or 170. I don't remember exactly. But they will also be featured at the Cool Climate Wine Summit. We put the Ecovin members together to tell people a little bit about the association. But this is also like a network, I guess, that really helps you exchanging ideas with colleagues and
Yes.
working with those problems, right, that we are facing.
It's easier to discuss problems because we are all on the same position. And you can ask organic winemakers which do this the last 30, 40 years. Also more younger winemakers which try more new things up from the line. So it's beautiful. Yesterday we have the celebrity of 40 years of Ecovin, and we sit there and we discussed a lot of things, and yeah, when you drive home, you have just a smile. You know, it's more power. Then you have a lot of new things. Okay, in the future we can do this, and it's beautiful.
Wonderful. Community is always better than being alone, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's taste the second wine. So, what did you bring for us?
I bring you a typical Mittelrhein Riesling, the Castle Rheinfels Riesling. It's a Riesling which is grown 100% on the slate soil. So more powerful, more mineral than the Riesling before. And we do the complete producing process in a big oak barrel. And in the last years, we start with the single vineyard wines and by the wines from the town in the year 2020, that we go back to the oak barrels. And we think, it's a good combination, oak and Riesling. Rieslings from the slate soil.
I mean, immediately, like what comes to the eye compared to the first Riesling, the color is a little bit more intense and deep, right? So the fermentation in the oak barrel definitely has its effect. It's a 12% alcohol, so a little bit more structure that we expect, right? A little bit more backbone. I really like it that, the least contact that it probably had in the barrel really comes out. I mean, it was together with the yeast cells in the barrel, I assume, for a while, or did you have some least contact for it? As a Hefelager?
Yes, around a half year.
Of a half year. I mean, this gives it structure, backbone in the nose immediately. It's more floral, it's more on the Acacia honey side. The fruit is a little bit riper. It really shows a nice complexity here. Any malolactic? Because I get a little bit of creamy hints. Or
No, no.
no? Okay,
No.
good. Then this is probably the least. Oh, wonderful. Oh, so much substance, so much like layers, oily, honey finish. It's edgy, it's herbal also a little bit in a way, and
Yes.
this great citric minerality that comes through. Ooh, this is a very lovely wine actually, and this is really beautiful. 2022 vintage.
Yes.
Is a good vintage to drink now.
Yeah, for now, but you can also wait a little bit. We produce this kind of wine by slow way. It were 11 months in the oak barrel. Then you must wait after filling up around 1.5 years.
1.5 years, okay.
Before it comes back, and then you have a wine which you can drink for a long time, for the next 10 years, if you like, or longer. We have a lot of customers which ask for old vintage from our winery, because then they drink the last bottle and say, "Oh, it was beautiful," and they want more. And
That's beautiful to hear, especially in a time where I have a feeling that more and more wine is consumed way too young. Because of course, producers like yourself, you are under pressure, right? Market is a little bit difficult at the moment. So of course you try to push your wines as quickly as possible into the market. But it's not always like very good for educating people about aging their wines and keeping their wines.
We don't do this because when we do it too fast, we have not the quality complete. By our wines, you must wait a little bit.
I love that as a kind of strategy. And then of course what I think is really important is the diversification of the product, right? I mean, we had now a fairly simple, easy drinking Riesling at 11%. We now have here a single vineyard, high quality, really thought through Riesling with a lot of like winemaking steps, giving complexity and longevity. And then you have all the PIWI aspect about it, where you say, okay, in the future we have these modern grape varieties. So that's pretty cool, actually.
About the frost last year, we don't have the first harvest with the red PIWIs. When we hope this year, at the moment the weather looks good, that we don't become a frost. And then we have with 25 wines the first harvest.
To round it off, 5 years from now is our final question. Where do you see yourself in Philipps-Mühle and maybe also the Mittelrhein in the wine world?
Philipps-Mühle, that we have more, the first and the first PIWI wines, different grape varieties by PIWIs. And then we must that we know more about the work with ground and with the rain, how they work better together. That we have more answers about the climate change. I think in the future, more and more new plant diseases will come. Here for the Mittelrhein, for the smallest wine region in Germany, the Mittelrhein, that more people know that we have not just castles, that we have here also wine, that we are a wine region
and amazing wines.
That we come out of the background.
Perfect. I want to say cheers on the Mittelrhein. Thanks for having me and sharing a glass with me here in the vineyard. And see you at the Climate Wine Summit 2026 in Copenhagen, where we have a small number of really high quality Mittelrhein producers, among others. So come and say hi and taste some amazing wines.